Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, and it's just me and Joel in the building.
Yeah.
It's
not the same.
It's doesn't hit the same.
I'm still happy to be here though.
I mean, I'm glad to be here. It's nice. It's a good time.
It's Friday.
It's just me and you. Friday.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
A little beer. Have a beer.
I'm not a beer guy.
Have a beer.
I do like drinking though.
Drink. Have a drink.
I drink.
We have a drink.
Let's do it.
All right, what's going on? Y'all appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Gotta talk about the Bulls today. My God, we're talking Bulls 2 days in a row. There must be nothing happening Bears wise around here. And Joel spelled Zach LaVine. LaVine market is growing. The LaVine market is growing, according to Casey Johnson and Joe Cowley. Also, got to talk about is Zach LaVine on his way to the Kings? That could be a legitimate team for him. Should the Bulls target Walker Kessler? Utah's making him available. Wait a minute. Can we right the wrongs? And of course, the Friday free for all that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Joel, what's going on outside of the fact that you can't spell?
You know, I was doing pretty good. I hadn't had it's been a long time since I had some flubs in terms of misspelling stuff.
I don't know. I feel like
no, we used to have a lot of forgot this, or even the chat would be like, dog, put me on, I'll help. Please, man, help. I have not had any real issues with missing some stuff. So that's the first time. I was rushing, I guess, trying to get the stuff done, man.
Hey, every now and then.
I'm good, man.
That's what shows that we're human on this show, man. I gotta understand. This is a two-man production. It's a two-man production some days. You know what I'm saying? Listen, let's jump into the main conversation around the Chicago Bulls outside of the Josh Giddey trade. Everybody losing their minds over the Josh Giddey trade. Why is Josh Giddey a Chicago Bull? What shall we do? It's pretty much all I've been hearing on Twitter all day. But do have to talk about a surprisingly growing market now that is being reported by Joe Cowley and Casey Johnson around Zach LaVine, because I think that it really goes to speak to some options that the Bulls may have with what they can do with Zach LaVine here. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Everything on this season hinges on what you get back in a Zach LaVine trade. And now it sounds like, according to Joe Cowley, according to Casey Johnson, the Bulls are in active trade discussions with teams like the Utah Jazz, which is why we got the Walker Kessler topic, and the Philadelphia 76ers surrounding Zach LaVine. Now, since he had tweeted that out yesterday, it does seem like the Sixers may be out on Zach LaVine, but hearing teams like the Kings, the Jazz, the Sixers having conversations on the Bulls around Zach LaVine, does that get you in a feeling or in a mindset, Joel, that you may get more back for Zach LaVine than what we originally thought? I think a lot of us are looking at the Zach LaVine trade at this point just going, just get something.
Yeah, my thought process is like, at this point, why give him up for just give him up for something? I wouldn't want to do that. But like you're saying, if the relationship is that bad, I want to get something. Oh, by the way, Crimson, I see your little comment to my running through word and copy pasta. No, you messed up too, dog. Crimson, try to come for me, dog.
Joe said, make sure you spell check yourself, brother.
Yeah, bro. No, shout out to Crimson, man. One of our good buddies there.
Shout out to the Breeze chat, man.
Man.
Breeze chat in the building, showing love. Appreciate y'all, man.
Bob Chimney was actually number one right there.
Bob Chimney. Shout out Bob Chimney in the building.
I think we forgot to shout out Baki yesterday. He was number one in the chat yesterday.
Oh, was he?
But it was
he effed it up with that trade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He effed it up with that trade. He's sitting here trying to flex. If Zach get traded to the Kings, y'all better call me Baki Wan Kenobi. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's
like
pretty good.
No, but I think you're trying to get what can we get for him? I mean, Zach is what, 27?
28.
He's still young. 28.
Zach LaVine, I believe, is 28. I think he's a year younger than me, legitimately.
Yeah. So we got 100 in the chat, by the way.
Oh, 100 in the chat.
Camera ain't up yet, so it doesn't matter. No, but yeah, it's like at this point, what's
29? Zach is 29, so he's legitimately a full year younger than me.
Yeah, so I don't know. And where we are right now, I'm ready for some type of change. We need to get something for this guy in general. You don't want to just give him away for anything.
Yeah.
And just hearing, like, I know we're going to talk about it later, but like the Kings trade, that could work. But like you're getting guys, what you're trying to find now are guys that have an upside that maybe like it's the Josh Giddey thing. Josh, from what we were looking at, was ascending as a player.
Yeah.
Then he had to take a step back with his role change, all that type of stuff. But he was at Josh is flirting a triple-double. There's games where he would do that. And so that potential is right there. Who's another guy to target that at least, he may be on the totem pole. Maybe he's the sixth man. Maybe there's, it's funny, like we talked about as you were getting on Baki yesterday about the Naz Reid trade. But somebody like Naz Reid, that's a player that, he's shown a lot of potential and flashes, but he's not starting. So can we identify someone that maybe we put the team behind him, put him in a position where, he's able to get starting minutes? Because we need a forward. Like now we got our point guard, we have our shooting guard. So like, how do we flip this?
I think what's tough is, right, like you do have to look at it in the scenario that the Chicago Bulls are still in and teams know this. Chicago Bulls aren't in a winning situation. And this is what I said on Locked On Bulls today. This is what I talked about on Twitter with everybody going at me on my tweet about, what the Chicago Bulls can actually accomplish. Shout out to Dan Tanner. Remember, for 27 months, I like how they just like bridged the months back in. They were just like, you was a member, like run that back. Said, I guess we can get a pack of Newports and a cup of washing detergent for Zach. I don't know. I mean, listen, here's
I don't want to do that,
But I think here's the part that's tough and where you have to come to a realization on this, though, is that Zach LaVine does not want to be here and the world knows it.
Yeah.
So you're going into a deal
drives the market
with
down.
your market already pretty much bottoming out. I think you are in a position where you do have to take whatever you can get here. And that's why it's good to hear that the market's opening up, because I think more teams, the only way to get his market moving in the right direction is if you get kind of a bidding war going. Because let's be real, right? I said this yesterday, and it just stands true. Zach LaVine's the consolation prize. He's Carlos Boozer. Zach LaVine is not the prize this year. He's not the one that people want. He's not the first choice. The first choice is Paul George. The first choice is some of the guys that are going to get moved off of their teams because guys want to change around cores, right? I think, right, we saw a report today that that Doc Rivers wants to change up some of the things with what's going on in Milwaukee. He wants to change the core that's around Giannis and Dame, right?
Yeah.
I think some of those players are ahead of Zach LaVine. I think a Chris Middleton is probably ahead of Zach LaVine. I think that a Bobby Portis type of player is ahead of Zach LaVine right now as far as trade market wise. Because guess what? Those guys have been a part of winning organizations. No matter how we slice it, no matter how we cut it, no matter what we think of Zach LaVine, and I like Zach LaVine. I wanted Zach LaVine to work here. I was fine with them paying Zach LaVine. I thought that, you get an opportunity to get a guy like Zach LaVine in here moving in the right direction, and all of a sudden you see the growth that he can have throughout his career. He has been healthy throughout that time, which also plays into that. But all of that stuff doesn't change the fact that Zach LaVine is the losingest player in the NBA.
Yeah.
He literally has the worst winning percentage among any players to play. I believe it's over 300 games or whatever it is in the NBA.
Well, he started off in Minnesota. I mean, he
started off in horrible spots.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't help.
But when you put good talent around him, it didn't change.
Well, the last
3 years, has Zach LaVine affected winning?
No, I'm not making it. I always felt he doesn't make smart decisions, and he's a player that he's more of your third option because he should be the number 2 option. They want him to be the number 1, but he really devolves to a number 3 option.
Yeah,
it doesn't do us any good. Now if you could afford to keep his contract as a third option on your team, love it, because I can't have where there's critical moments in the game and you are just making boneheaded moves. You're not making a smart shot. You're not setting your players up. He's got the ability. He can drive to the hole. He can slash. He is definitely improved in those areas.
He's got all the talent.
He's got the talent.
He's got all the talent.
It's in between the 2 ears. You know what I'm saying?
And I think for me, like the thing about, and I love the fact that, like I said, that we're hearing that the trade market is growing, but the trade market is growing to more teams. Now you're just hoping you kind of get a bidding war going between those teams.
Yeah, sure.
Now you're hoping that, right, like that the team that comes away without what's the right word? The team that comes away without Paul George or comes away without the big prize. You're hoping that there's a couple of them at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Jordan. Hello, boys.
Oh boy, you got to watch this guy here.
Is there a way to trade LaVine and Reinsdorf for another player and owner straight up?
No. Unfortunately, no.
I don't know if there's any situation that works like that.
We are going to be here. But I think right when I look at this team, when I look at what you're building, and listen, here's the thing, and I heard Kenny Beecham talking about this earlier. The Josh Giddey trade works if Zach LaVine is not on this team. The Josh Giddey trade works if you're moving on to other pieces. The Josh Giddey trade works if you find a way out of this. So at the end of the day, whether his market is growing or not, I do think you're in a position to just take whatever you can get.
I mean, but within reason. We're trying to make a smart move. Like, you don't want to just. Well, I guess what it gets down to is what is the identity of this team? What's the idea of what is Billy Donovan doing? What is the vision that AK has? Is he trying to basically rebuild a Denver squad?
Oh, we know that.
But I'm saying, like,
100%. He's trying to rebuild Denver.
But okay, but that means you have a big that can pass the ball. Is that Vooch? Not really.
I mean, Vooch a nice facilitator, but he's
Sorta.
Older.
Yeah. So now you gotta. But if now you're in that same mold, so now you gotta start to identify and rebuild. So with Zach, do you try to find that next guy that can do those type of things? But now you have more basketball players. Giddey is, to me, he's a great get in terms of being able to. He can spread the floor to me. He can slash a little bit. He can pass. I'm sure he can improve his shooting. But I'd like to have more players that are multifaceted that can do that. It's not just one-dimensional type guys. I mean, you need specialists here or there, but to have someone like him, let's find another. If we can get another big, like a 7-foot version of that can actually get you 5 or 6 assists a game, that's really good.
I mean, I hear you, but I think at this point, right, the focus of this team coming into this season is built around Coby White.
200 in the chat.
Over 200 in the chat. 200. Twitter showing big love today. 162 over on the Twitter side, 48 on YouTube. Not rocking with the Bulls talk today. I feel it. Josh Giddey killed a lot of Bulls fans on YouTube yesterday. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey man, we appreciate
a lot of people not happy about this trade, bro. Not a lot of people not happy about this trade.
I like
no, honestly, all it is, YouTube said we're not pushing y'all. We just gave y'all that money back work for it. That's all that is. We know what it is. Don't even worry about it, y'all.
Authentic like we were before and keep it growing.
All right, we just gonna keep it moving. But no, I think the here's my thing. You know what the Bulls' plan is this season. Coby White.
Yeah.
The goal is to build around a young player that ascended last season, that started to move in the right direction, still a little bit inconsistent in the second half of the season, needed to work on some things. But the goal is, hey, listen, coming into this season, this is Coby White's team, at least in my mind, right? I think you're trying to do a sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan. You're probably stuck with Vooch, so you got to hold on to Vooch. But you're building everything around what Coby White can be for this team moving forward, and you're trying to put him in the best position. That's what a Josh Giddey trade says to me, with Coby being your 2 guard now. He's now the guy that can go out there and offensively be the focal point.
Yeah.
I think that if that's the direction that you're going, right, that means that you're not looking for the best of the best in a trade back. You're looking for legitimate role players. You're looking for guys that can come in and make Coby White's life easier. And more than likely with AK, let's be 100% honest, you're looking for somebody that's going to be able to finally play backseat to Patrick Williams. You're hoping to the high heavens that, like, hey, there's no chance for you. There's no option. Here you go. So, it's your game. Go out there and play it.
This was the starting lineup as it stands, right? Giddey, Coby, DeMar, Patrick, and Vooch.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And I would say DeMar probably is not a part of that. You'll end up getting somebody in there. Maybe you end up replacing a 4 or a 5 one way or the other. But I think that DeMar is probably another one of the odd men out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm ready to just Coby White to me signals a new era because he took so long to finally get to this point of, like, living to the top, living up to the expectations of being a number 7 pick. It took him like 5 years.
Yeah, but he got jerked around for how many of those years, right? His first season, he ends up averaging 18 points a game.
Yeah, but my thing
Second season, he has a little bit of a sophomore slump. They end up moving him to the bench.
Yeah.
Third season, he's off of the bench.
So he's Josh Giddey, another guy that's like finally getting some time and develops, or he's got potential. There's a wave here.
Is he Josh Giddey?
There's a wave.
Josh Giddey. I wouldn't say he's Josh Giddey because I think that Coby consistently got tick. Josh Giddey got his minutes cut this year.
Right.
So I think that plays more into that, right? Like Josh Giddey to me consistently got, or Coby White to me didn't consistently get ticked. The Bulls didn't consistently play better when Coby White was on the floor. Yeah. The one thing about bringing in Josh Giddey, when you look at the numbers when Shea's not on the floor, his plus minus numbers are off the chart. Yeah. His statistics, he's a 16, 8 and 8 guy when Shea's not on the floor. When he can run the floor the way he probably was meant to, right? You tried to pair a point guard and a point guard together. It never works. But we just saw this in Atlanta with two dudes that we legitimately know are both good. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray are both good players. Yeah. They just can't play together.
Right. But my point of my statement is more about there's a certain trajectory, and then when it gets halted and you're doing this whole up and down kind of deal versus just continually getting to a point where you're supposed to plateau as a player or grow as a player. Yeah. So for Coby White to either get more confidence, develop, do whatever he's doing, he to me now signals a new change. Instead of him being like the Jimmy Butler when he came, Jimmy within 2 years, like his rookie year, he kind of came on, and then next thing you know, it's like, dude, this is the two guard we've been looking for this whole time.
Well, Jimmy was in a different situation because Thibs wouldn't play him. That's different. Thibs did not play rookies,
but he still developed into a point where he got to a point where no, he's that guy. But then Garpax didn't want to deal with him.
That's because they almost killed Luol. Like it literally took the Bulls almost taking a player out.
Yeah,
for Jimmy to get some minutes, he's like, I got to play somebody. Get out there, Jimmy. Play up.
Yeah,
but I do agree with you, right? Like the Bulls, right? The Jimmy Butler situation is one of. And maybe this will end up being that too. Like you look back on the organization and the organization failed. The organization looks like it failed Lauri Markkanen, right? I think Lauri played a part in that, but the organization failed Lauri. Well, the organization failed DJJ. The organization failed Daniel Gafford. The organization failed Bobby Portis. There's a lot of good basketball players in this league that the Bulls organization failed. So we might be in that situation again, but I think my thing is, right, like where you want to get the best back, you want to get the best player back that you can, but you're in a no-win situation here.
Well, what I'm getting at, though, is just one, like I agree with you about the failure of the organization, but like anything you do from top down, it's ownership to management to the coach. What's the scheme? What are we doing? What are we building together? Everybody's on the same page. So whatever this vision is. So regardless of the point, where we are right now is that the players who they drafted, that didn't develop, and now looks like we're in a possible rebuild here. Coby White now, and this year has now changed, I think, what the trajectory of what this team was. That team that they first built when Lonzo got here had maybe a 2-3 year run, which is now pretty much expired.
Yeah.
And they didn't develop, they didn't grow to what they were supposed to be. We had a lot of potential. It looked really good for about 30 games.
35.
35 games. You know what I'm saying? And it's over. So now it's time to, rebuild.
No,
and
100%.
So I like if Coby White is now the new face of that rebuild and we're building around him. I mean, that's good. So, I mean, for these, the Zach LaVine trade, I mean, at this point, again, I'm fine if we move away. I definitely want to move away from, I never liked the
contract.
No, not the contract. I never liked the Patrick Williams draft. Period. I never liked it. I didn't see it. I didn't believe.
But see, even that though, right? And this is why I say that the Bulls, to me, put themselves in bad positions. This is why I say that the Bulls, to me, they make decisions and then they instantly like open another door, and it's like, hey, let's lock ourselves in here, right? You go out and you draft Patrick Williams, number 4 overall. What's the next thing that they do?
I forget. What was that?
You go put 3 players in front of him that he's never going to see the ball.
Well,
you drafted him 4th.
He was a bench player. He was a bench player in freaking college.
Yeah, but so was Zach. So was Devin Booker.
Yeah, but he was showing promise. Like
so was Devin Booker. Like there's a lot of bench players in college that come to the league and they're good. Like,
but he didn't. You can't tell me there was anything that stood out about Patrick Williams.
But that whole Florida State team is the same. Devin Vassell's the same way, and he's a much better scorer in the NBA than Patrick Williams is, right? Devin Vassell in college was a 12-point per game guy who, he was in the starting lineup, but they play pretty much the same amount of minutes. Like that's how FSU runs their team. So I always was like, okay, you're building on potential here, but you gotta build this guy up. You drafted Patrick Williams. Now, do I think P. Will has lived up to it? No, he's a bust at this point.
No.
And to me, I think that it would take a lot for me to move off of that opinion at this point. But I also realized that you brought the 4th overall pick. How many 4th overall picks come in with a team ahead of them? If you're the 4th overall pick, you're getting the ball.
Let me look up.
Anthony Edwards was 1.
Let me look up notable.
He was getting the ball.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball was 2. He was getting the ball.
Yeah.
Is Marvin Bagley in that draft?
We got 300 in the chat.
Oh, 300 in the chat. 300. Is Marvin Bagley in that draft as well? There was a big in that draft that went there as well. Was that DeAndre Ayton?
What year was that?
You talking
about the Patrick Williams
draft? The P. Will draft. That was a big. Or is that James Wiseman? That might be James Wiseman.
Yeah, but he was no, we didn't pass. No. Patrick Williams was a consolation prize because we were hoping to get the third. I think that was the Bobcat. No, was that the one when the baby ball went over to
same draft, LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, he went 3. We got what's the name of 4.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm saying though. You drafted Patrick Williams 4, and then you put him in a position where you get in where you fit in.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how you develop a player.
No,
you draft Dalen Terry 18th overall. 18th overall should be a player that's playing on the floor. You want to know why? Because we're going to be talking about the 19th overall pick, and should the Chicago Bulls go out and get him because they screwed up that pick already. Mm-hmm. Dalen Terry plays the least amount of minutes of any 18th overall pick in NBA history.
Yeah,
the Bulls draft these guys and then don't put them in a position to be successful out there. And then we're sitting here. Listen, I would love to have Tyrese Maxey or Tyrese Halliburton or Devin Vassell or all of these names, right? Even Obi Toppin, all these names that are behind the other guys. But if I bring those guys into a situation where you're not getting the shots, you're not getting the ball, you're not going to be successful here either.
Yeah. No, you got to, if you don't have a plan. Was it failure to plan? Is planning to fail.
Yeah. And that's what I think what sucks about it is that's what it feels like, where it feels like this Bulls team is at right now. That's where it feels like, why it feels like, right, when you look at the Zach LaVine market and it growing and things like that, it feels like you have to take yet another consolation prize because you made bad decisions that put you in this situation. Mm-hmm. And that was my thing. The people who were mad about the Giddey trade because we didn't get the draft capital, I didn't really have an argument for you because I was like, listen, you traded a 31-year-old player or a 30-year-old player for a 21-year-old kid that's got upside in development. Mm-hmm. You weren't going to get a great deal on that, and you didn't have the upper hand. I don't care if it's like everybody's like, well, Caruso's the better player. That don't mean you have the upper hand. Mm-hmm. That means that you got the better player and that you realize that he's probably not going to resign here and you got to go out there and make a deal. But on the flip side of all of that, the reason you're here is because you didn't trade Caruso during the season. All the people that were mad for that reason, I'm here with you.
Yeah.
The same thing with Zach LaVine is here. The reason you're here is because your front office said, oh, you mean you want to send us RJ Barrett? And who else was in there?
That trade was insane.
What was it? RJ Barrett and
OG and no,
OG wasn't a part of it because he was in Toronto.
He went over to the Knicks.
It was one other player that was in there. I don't think I think Obi Toppin was a part of it. And a couple of first round picks for Zach LaVine. You want to know why you're in this situation? Because you didn't jump on that deal then.
Yeah.
That's why you're here right now.
Yeah, but it's like, what is it with the timidness of like?
I think it's Reinsdorf. I think that, you know what? And that's why hearing that.
What was that comment about? They stepped in. Man, messing with stuff.
And I think that's why it's like I want to blame Acme for certain stuff, but I truly wonder how much of the things that have hindered his ability to be successful come from Jerry handcuffing.
Yeah,
I really do. Because I think that there's a real scenario where Jerry Reinsdorf is stepping in going, no, you can't trade that away. We need him. No, we got to be competitive. Alex Caruso makes us not competitive. You can't trade that away. You can. I'll bet you there was a conversation on you can only trade Alex Caruso away if you get back somebody that helps us compete next year.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there was a conversation on that. And so that's why, to me, it's like when I look at where the Reinsdorfs are, when I look at the reports of what we could get back for Zach LaVine, I don't feel great about the selection and stuff like that. I don't feel great about what the Bulls can bring back in. I don't feel great about how this team is positioned right now, even with yesterday, to me, being a good move, because I'm always going to be looking over my shoulder going, but is there going to be a move that we need to make that we don't?
Yeah.
That's the problem that the Bulls have right now. But we'll see, man. We'll see what this what this Bulls trade ends up being. Did we do over 300 in the chat?
Yeah, we did 300.
Oh, we did over 300 in the chat? I bet. 268 over on the Twitter side, 72 over on the YouTube side. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. You on the YouTube side, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. If you on the Twitter side, go on out, hit the like button, hit the retweet button, because you know they made the likes private now, so they don't share the likes no more, because Twitter's getting dirty over there. You got to watch yourself. I hope y'all got clean Twitter pages. I had to scrub my Twitter page. My Twitter page was mine since 14, so you can only imagine. you can only imagine what was on my Twitter page back in the day. But hey, we're going to keep this thing moving along, man, because there is a legitimate conversation on the table that we heard from, why can't I think of, Jake L. Fisher, that the Kings could be the most likely trade destination for Zach LaVine. Jordan said we didn't do over 300 in the chat. Over 300 in the chat. 300.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Breeze Nation. Man.
Shout out to Breeze Nation pulling up, man. The Kings being the most likely destination for a Zach LaVine trade right now is interesting because of the deal that would be on the table. We know that there's some sort of draft capital involved, probably some sort of protected pick. But as of right now, it sounds like the Kings would be looking to trade Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes for Zach LaVine. Again, based on the conversation that we just had, right? You're kind of in a take it or leave it deal. If I'm the Chicago Bulls right now, I'm taking it. Pause. That's crazy. Yo. Although it does fit. It does fit for what the Bulls have been doing. Listen, the Bulls have been doing a lot of taking it. You know what I mean? Like,
let's see. I'm okay. You know, I think this is one of those. It's a Giddey type trade. He was what, last year. Actually, I think let me pull that graphic up. I have the jewel of this trade would be basically
Kevin Huerter.
Yeah. And you can just have an expiring contract with Harrison Barnes, and then Barnes. I mean, he's a productive player.
He sounded off the bench.
He's a veteran player.
Yeah,
kind of underwhelming.
Wouldn't even be mad if you re-signed a Harrison Barnes at the end of the year on a low money deal, right? Solid vet off of the bench. Like you said, the jewel of this trade would be Kevin Huerter. Yeah. Numbers, I mean, listen, you can't go wrong. 6'7", 190 pounds, 26 years old, professional, been in some big moments. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, Kevin Huerter, a part of that Atlanta Hawks team that was in the ECF, I believe.
So, I mean, he's a decent three-point shooter, 36%, 10 points a game, like this. But see, like the year before, he was 15 points a game.
Yeah.
He was a little more contributing. He was actually starting. Maybe this is a fresh start situation where we actually do get a shooting guard, maybe even a forward position, but at least we get something back versus just giving Zach away for pretty much nothing. I'll take the potential of what Huerter was doing,
right?
And go with that. I'm fine with that. I like having Giddey with, now you got Coby White, and then this is a shooting guard. So there's our backcourt's pretty solid. If we're able to trade Zach to get us on the forward, and then we got the draft pick, because if we get my man, you know what I want out of the draft. You know what I want from the draft, dog.
Nobody's getting Zach Edey.
Come on, man. Give me my man Zach Edey, baby.
Nobody wants Zach Edey.
Come, what I see
Zach Edey's just the only player you've seen.
I see Tim Duncan-ish, like just
getting
better.
Bro,
I see, because he played.
So
he started late. He started
You're
late.
So
I see fundamentals.
You're so
I just see him eventually just
so
growing, and Just he's growing as a player. That's what I see.
That
7'4" offensive player.
Remember
like,
when
come
I
on,
said
man.
you talk basketball like kids talk football?
No.
That's
no,
the worst
no.
take
It's not the worst
I've
take.
ever heard
No,
in my life.
it's not the worst.
You just said Zach. Where's Hayes at? Somebody call Hayes. Somebody find Hayes. Somebody tell Hayes to jump in the chat.
No,
You just said Zach. You see Tim Duncan
I'm saying
in Zach Edey.
because in college, look, Tim Duncan started playing basketball way later. He was like 14 or 15. Same thing with Zach. He started playing much later in career. I seen him getting better in college, just like Tim was doing his thing. I'm not saying he's like, he's going to be the number one pick, greatest, whatever. But I'm saying is I'm seeing improvement of a player who started late. I'm not saying that he's going to.
What the hell?
No, what I'm saying is that there is a spectrum. What I'm saying is the comparison.
And you're on it.
Yeah. All right. No. You know what, Pat? You're right. You got it, dog.
I know.
Don't worry about it. Matter of fact, chat all you guys. You know what? All you guys. Who do you want? You want the guy from Connecticut? We like him.
Donovan Clingan? I don't think they're moving up to get him. Nah, if Donovan Clingan falls, it's different.
You like Clingan?
If Donovan Clingan falls, listen, you take Donovan Clingan at 11. But I would like Donovan Clingan. I like Kyle Filipowski. There's some
Walter Wright.
There's some bigs in here. Walter,
that's my man, Walter Wright. That's my guy.
Hey, shout out to Walter. He just goes
no
to show
idea
you
who
that,
he is. Don't know where he's been at.
No, that just goes to show you, no matter what your opinion is, somebody will agree with it.
No, but what I'm getting at is that if we basically rebuild our front court,
Bob Chimney said, "I thought the show ended."
But what I'm getting
at nuts. Is that, hey, hold on, breathe for a second. Oh, but 400 in the chat. 400.
Well, what I'm getting at is if we have Giddey at the point, we got Coby at the 2. If we get Herter for the 3,
I would like Kevin Herter at the 3. That's fine.
But because we gave up Zach, and are they still talking about a sign and trade for DeMar? Because I think
you have to, don't you? Like if you're going with this lineup, where's DeMar fit?
Right. So and then you gotta, if we still hold on to Vooch,
I kind of
rather put him at a 4. I don't like him as a center. I'd rather him as a point.
But even that, like, oh my God,
because he just
said that earlier.
Yes, I know.
That's nuts.
Okay,
the Chicago Bulls were 28th in pace of play last year.
What do you want me to do?
They'll be 31st.
What do you want me to do with this team?
I want you to not be a part of building it. I really want that to never happen.
I don't have any input on building this team. We're watching this team.
He wants Vooch and Zach Edey at the 4 and 5.
Based off what we're drafting. I don't want another shooting guard. Who are we going to get at, what are we, 11?
At 11.
Who are we going to get?
There's a lot of people you can get. I'll take Terrence Shannon Jr. at 11. Terrence Shannon Jr. would be a perfect 3.
I need a center or another forward.
Give me Kyle Filipowski. Give me.
You did say Filipowski.
I mean, like, dog, like this man. Steve-O, get in here, dog. Save us, Steve-O. Steve-O said, did I just hear somebody say Edey and Tim? And I'm flabbergasted, bro. I don't even know how to continue the show. I've never been thrown off to the point. I've been sitting here talking football with Pete Kidd for 4 years. I can't say that, actually. When he said that Derek Carr could be Aaron Rodgers if he had the same weapons, I was just as that's that level of a take right there. That's the worst basketball take. You should be ashamed of yourself. Drew, get in the chat, Drew. My God.
No, you guys.
That's nuts.
See, the problem is you're going way too far left. What I'm saying is I'm seeing an improvement.
We're going too far left.
Yes, I didn't say he's going to be Tim Duncan. I'm just saying it reminds me of the fact of someone starting late, getting better as a player. I'm not going to say his ceiling is all the way of Tim Duncan.
Hey, bro, you could have said Joel Embiid, and that would have been a closer assessment.
Fine, then Joel Embiid.
It's still too far away.
My point is that a player that is improving, he's improved every year is my point. That's all I'm getting at. I'm not going to say he's going to have the same career as Duncan, but the point is that a player is starting late, and getting better as a player. That's all. I don't think he's going to be such. The issue is what they say he's too slow.
Bro, I'm sweating. That was nuts.
Yeah,
yes, he's too slow. Yes, he's a slow player.
All right. Well, okay. It is what it is. But you got to forget it. You know what? I don't want Zach Edey no more. You guys have bullied me away from Zach Edey.
Oh, you can want
Just
what you
give me
want. I will continue to bully you on this take.
I want a big at 11. That's what
fine.
I want.
I'm here for that.
That's all I'm getting at.
I'm here for that.
So I'm fine. We get him.
That's nuts. But no, I am. Listen, I think here's the thing that
Zach Edey's not even Zildrunas Hill golf.
Let's go through the chat and see. I'm gonna just randomly throw out players throughout the rest of the show.
A poor man's Yao Ming. Yao Ming was balling.
That man ain't even a poor man's Yao Ming. How poor? Hey, how poor we talking? There's poor and then there's poverty, dog. But no, like I would just throw out random players throughout the show and you chat. Y'all let me know if Zach Edey's better than. Let's start it off. Zach Edey or Omer Sheik. Let's start it there. Zach Edey what was he? Was he the Turkish Hammer or the Polish Hammer?
Zach Edey's Eddie Curry. I will go for Eddie Curry.
You nuts. We did that experiment already.
Yeah, and Paxton and them didn't want to pay the dude. Oh, he got a heart problem. We don't want to pay him. That joker he wasn't a great. He could score.
Eddie Curry had 2 good years after he left the Bulls.
He was doing pretty good in New York,
and then he fell off.
And he fell off. He ate himself out of the league. Well, he went to Miami, won a championship with them. But the point is that he did play. I'll take 16 and 16 and 8.
How did we get here on a Kevin Huerter topic?
Because I was saying rebuilding our squad. Let's just roll it back.
Let's run it back.
Roll it back.
Run it all the way back.
We can live with Huerter. Is the point.
I can live with Huerter.
I can live with Huerter.
Here's my thing, though. If you made a trade like this, and it's kind of what I was saying in the first segment, right? You're now in a position where, to me, offensively, you're talking about the Chicago Bulls building around Coby White. Kevin Huerter is a role player that spreads the floor. That is another shooter that you can put on a team with Josh Giddey, who can find shooters. I'd be fine with that. Harrison Barnes coming off the bench, expiring contract. You're on the end of a deal. You either re-sign him after that to a low money deal or you let him walk. I'm fine with that. It gets you out of the money. It opens up contract space for you. I think this is the perfect kind of deal for the Chicago Bulls to go out there and get. I think there's other deals on the table that could be like this, where, listen, we're going to have another day on Twitter, just like we had with Alex Caruso yesterday, where everybody's on there losing their mind. Just, what do you mean? Yeah. How do we do that? Yeah. I can't believe. Like, it's what's going to happen. It's fine, because you put yourself in this position, and now you have to take the next best case scenario. If this trade is available, I'm here for it. I think this is the next best case scenario.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what we're stuck with. Like, we're stuck with trying to get something for some of these players for this team that has peaked.
Well, I think you put yourself in a position where your conversation next season is build around the youth.
I'll take Andrew Bynum. Zach Edey's, yes. Andrew Bynum was balling. Then he went to Philly, got his money, and just went crazy and got hurt.
No, he never played in Philly.
Well, he got hurt. He was hurt, got paid, and never came back.
Got paid, never came back.
And wore an alfalfa haircut.
Yeah. he was rough out there. Andrew Bynum would smoke Zach Edey. Andrew Bynum was much more agile. But no, I think the thing for me is I think the game plan, if you do this, right, the Chicago Bulls are a very different team. And so, bro, like it really could be. I would not be surprised if the Bulls did something like they were so desperate to move Zach to get something better than this deal back that they end up including their draft capital in it to try and move on and get a player that's a win now type of player, because I think that's what the organization wants. They don't want to reset. They don't want to build young. They don't want, but logically speaking, what I would like for the Bulls to do is you go out there with a group of young guys. You go out and make a trade for Kevin Huerter. You add him in with Zach Edey, right? You run things through Coby White. You got
did you say Zach Edey?
Or not, you son
he
of a.
Did.
Did I not?
He said Zach Edey.
You run things. You run things out there with Coby White. did not mean Zach.
He said, Jordan said, a poor man Shaq. I will take a poor man Shaq as a rookie.
Zachy, Jordan, you making some bad assumptions too, bro. Jordan making monopoly assumptions out here with how he putting some of these players together. He making some. There's a reason he be losing in monopoly. These are some names that you need to find worse center names out here.
Zach is Greg Ostertag. Hey, last time I checked, they won a championship.
What I mean to say is Jordan Sogoskas didn't win a championship.
No, he said Greg Ostertag.
Oh, Greg Ostertag did win a championship.
That was a big boy.
Zach Edey is a poor man's Kwame Brown. There you go. That's a great assessment of that.
No, he might be Kwame. Kwame didn't get
Kwame Brown is a poor man's Kwame Brown. And that man tried to come back and make everybody think that he wasn't as bad as he really was. He got bullied. Shut up.
Yeah, he didn't have the mentality to.
Everybody got bullied.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one.
Didn't nobody care when Kwame Brown got bullied, but not everybody cared when Caitlin Clark. Sorry, never mind. That was about to go too far. But about to be upset. There was about to be a war up in there. But no, I think that you're trying to build around a team of youth, if you're logical, right? Where you're just taking a chance this year. Take a chance that Coby White takes the next step. You put now I can't think of the boy name, the point guard, but Josh Giddey out there. You got me thinking Edey. You put Josh Giddey out there, and you give him a chance to kind of redeem himself off of this down season that he just had, try to bounce back, even though there was a lot of things in your season that you did better, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have the season that you were hoping to have, and OKC wanted to bring you off the bench. You didn't like that. You wanted to trade out. Now you're in a situation where it's your show. Let's see you run the show. Get a guy like Kevin Huerter in here to help space the floor. Build with Ayo Dosunmu. Dare I say, build with Patrick Williams. Build with those pieces, because going into next season, if you suck, you still get your top 10 pick. And a draft that it's actually worth it to have a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
If you don't suck, you got answers.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're looking for here. Right now, I view Josh Giddey as a point guard answer.
2-time National College Player of the Year. 2-time.
Are you
Pete
looking up
Newell,
Zach Edey's
2-time
accolades?
Big Man Award. 2-time Kareem Abdul-Jabbar winner. 2-time consensus first team All-American. NCAA season scoring leader. That was last year. Big 10 Player of the Year 2 times. 2-time Big All-10. I see a lot of.
I'll tell you this.
I see a lot of awards.
I'll tell you this right now.
I see a lot. So this was like a bust.
Hey, let's make a deal right now. Let's make a deal right now. If Zach Edey gets in the NBA and he averages more than 10 minutes a game, I'll buy you a steak dinner.
Oh, you could pay me back from when I took y'all out for steak dinner. I'm gonna rack that bad boy. Y'all tried to get me.
I'll buy you. I ain't gonna lie. We definitely tried to get him. I didn't realize how much money this mug had. He was like, "Oh, 500, not bad." Wait a minute, son of a!
I took Drew and Pat out for dinner. They helped me out. They helped me move a couple years back, and I was like, I got you guys. And they helped me during the playoffs. And they let me hear it the whole time.
During the NFL playoffs. That was nuts.
Yeah, and so
they
tried to get me.
I will. If Zach Edey comes into this league in his rookie year, he averages more than 10 minutes a game. I will get you. I will buy you a steak dinner. But if he doesn't, I know how much you make now. Run that back.
So I got to get you.
You give me one.
All right.
Let's go. I'll tell you that right now.
Come on, Zach Edey, please.
Watch this mug be rookie of the year just because I made the deal.
I'm saying, I see a lot
here we go.
A lot of highlights and awards over here. He was the MVP of Big Ten 2 years ago. So y'all over here, stunting on this cat like he sucked. He's balling out.
He's a college player.
But he's winning.
He's a college player.
You want a winner.
I mean, he didn't win.
He got to the championship, didn't he?
He lost.
Yeah, but you made it in the final. Everybody lost the freaking Fab Five for just making it to the championship 2 years in a row. They still lost, but they still love that team.
That's a y'all era thing.
Y'all
loved lovable losers. Y'all were big on lovable losers back then.
No, you're not going to disrespect the Fab Five.
See,
you're not going to do that. No, where's the flag?
There we go, right there.
Play right there.
Y'all love lovable losers, man.
No, we don't.
I'm just saying, bro.
I'm just saying, this guy has been doing. I don't see why there's so much hate. I get it, he might be a little slower, but if you're going to build around him, this is the perfect time to create this new squad, because if you trade Zach and bring back a forward,
yeah,
we have Vooch and we still need a center. So it's either or. But I'd rather move Vooch to. He wants to shoot freaking 3-pointers on the wing.
He's not good at it. That's why you can't move him to the 4.
I don't like. Either way, I'm fine moving. I'm fine blowing this whole squad up. Vooch is 30.
No, for sure. And I think that's really what it comes down to me. I think that's where we're at with this, right? You gotta move on from these pieces, right?
Yeah.
You take your chances on the young guys this year. If it doesn't work, 2025, you get your top 10 pick. You go get a piece that legitimately in that draft, there's a bunch of pieces that can help you.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how you move on this. And you find your role players this year. And that's okay, right? You can have that year where you have the role players. When the star shows up, you feel a lot better about it. Like that's kind of, I mean, heck, that's what we saw Minnesota do.
Mm-hmm.
Now they added Rudy Gobert, who I guess is supposed to be more than a role player, but didn't end up being. But that Karl Anthony Towns team that ended up making the playoffs with Patrick Beverley wasn't nothing. Or the play-in with Patrick Beverley wasn't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up getting Anthony Edwards, and guess what? Nobody cared anymore.
Yeah.
So that's really what I want to see the Chicago Bulls work towards as we keep moving forward, is build the team that the star can come into, and you're not sitting there trying to put 100 pieces together to try and put that guy in a position to be successful. That's what I would like to see him do. Let's keep it moving, though. There's a piece that we can add. Possibly Utah has made a very, very, very enticing player available via trade in year 2. And I mean, listen, y'all already know me and Hayes were high on Walker Kessler at the draft, and the Chicago Bulls ended up going with Dalen Terry that year.
So,
but the report per Jake L. Fisher is that the Utah Jazz could trade Walker Kessler. There appears to be a wide range of starting caliber big men available for trade. Rival teams believe that Utah is willing to engage in trade talks that would part ways with the Jazz second-year center. Would Walker Kessler be somebody who interests you coming into this season? Last season's stats, 8.7 points per game, 8 rebounds a game, 2.4 blocks. I believe at a certain point he was leading the NBA in blocks, but then I think he ended up getting overtaken by Wemby and guys like that throughout the season. 69% from the field, slowly improving on that jump shot a little bit. To me, I remember comparing him when he came out of college, and everybody wanted to compare him to all these white centers, and I was like, y'all got to stop comparing players based off their skin color. He plays like Jaren Jackson to me, but doesn't foul out as much.
Yeah.
Would he be somebody who you'd be more interested in? Probably not a Zach LaVine move for, but maybe somebody like a Patrick Williams?
First of all, if someone's calling and says if we can get Patrick Williams out of here for him, yeah. But now that changes your draft a little bit, right?
It changes your draft from going after a big man for sure.
Well, then
or at least I'll say this, a starting big man maybe, or you go after a power forward.
Or the thing is that you're creating a new set of depth here, because if you're able to flip Patrick Williams to get a true center, and then you still got to flip Zach. So if Zach turns into Kevin Huerter, you got Kessler here. I don't know. I feel like there's another player. Now you're drafting a power forward, or maybe you make a move to get, if you like Klingon as a power forward, right?
Because Klingon is Walker Kessler.
He's 7'2".
Klingon is him.
Yeah, he's 7'2".
They're the same dude.
Right. Okay.
Like, to me, Klingon might have a little bit more upside, but to me, for the most part, they're pretty much the same dude. Klingon's a little bit better offensively than Walker Kessler is, but Walker Kessler also doesn't have as big of a role as Klingon did offensively.
I don't know. I mean, his pedigree is a little bit better even than Klingon. Klingon is just like he won 2 championships and was voted pretty high as SEC something.
I'd love a Donovan Klingon. Now, and that's the thing, right? It depends on. I think a Walker Kessler move does depend on what you want to do in the draft.
I'm sorry, 2-time national.
If you feel like Donovan Klingon is the player that you want to go after and you want to trade up to go get him, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
especially if you can find a way to get that pick. But I thought the player that was going to get you that pick that's going to secure Donovan Clingan was Alex Caruso.
I'm just saying. I mean, Clingan's cool. I mean, he did his thing, averaged 27 points, 17 rebounds as a junior.
Yeah.
Awesome. But he's AP honorable mention All-American, and that's pretty much it. And he was on the championship team. But I'm looking at, you just want some. Can we scout someone where they can grow and ascend as a player? How many more are we going to miss on all these projects that we keep drafting? So it's interesting if we're able to. Now we got a new baby bulls, basically, is what's going to end up happening. And if we trade,
essentially,
yeah.
But yes and no, though, right? Because the baby bulls were the baby bulls because they were all second and third year players.
What I'm getting at is if you flip Vooch and also you reset, so you flip Vooch. You reset with Patrick Williams,
right?
And then you're moving on from Zach LaVine. So Kessler is what? He's 20. If you were to get him, like now I see him as a developmental piece. Like,
but the difference is you've got young pieces that have been in the league for a while, right?
Right. They're still young.
Josh Giddey is year 4. That's not a rookie. That's year 4 is a vet, right? Coby White is year 6 in the NBA.
What I'm saying is that in terms of them all being 22 years old, 21.
Yes, they're young, but they got the experience.
But you're going from I'll take the experience, but they're still young.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's a new baby bull squad. Everybody's under 25 years old or something like that. How old is Coby White?
24, 25.
That's very young.
Yeah.
He's the most. He would be one of the most. Like DeMar is 34.
Yeah.
Like we still got to fit. Like we're in an interesting position where we might be able to combo one or two of these players and maybe get some real value back on one player. Because if you're able to flip Zach to get a shooting guard with Herter, you still have some flexibility with the power forward and center position.
No, for sure. Well, I think here's right. Me and Hayes talked about this on Locked On Bulls as well. If you were to go out and get a guy like Walker Kessler, that changes your mindset on where you want to go with your power forward. Colorado has a power forward who has played 4 years in 3 or 4 years in college. Tristan Da Silva, 6'9", 230 pounds.
Yeah.
And you listen, Taj Gibson type of player to me. Not exactly Taj Gibson, but nice a player who comes in already knows his body, knows how he needs to play, been in college for a while, knows his game, is going to adjust to the NBA a little bit quicker because of how quickly or because of how long he's been in college. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Shout out to hopefully I say your name.
Shay. That's Shay.
Huh?
That's Shay.
Shay? All right. What up, Shay? My point is that Patrick Williams is underwhelmed as a player. I get that he's young, but he's already been in the league and he hasn't shown us the claw type of potential he was supposed to be. He's just a role player. He's a good guy. Or you keep him and he's on the bench and he comes off the bench, but you didn't draft him number 4 to do that.
At this point, I've said my hope isn't that he lives up to being the 4th overall pick. My hope is that he lives up to being a viable and Andrew Wiggins.
Now this gets me tingly. If we're able to get Michael Porter Jr.
It's not.
I know. I'm just saying. It just
you always put the trades up there that have no chance of happening.
I wanted Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, I did too. I cried as well.
We got the wrong one.
Yeah, we got the wrong junior.
God dang.
I know, but there's no chance of that happening.
I know. I just saying, man. Just let me live a little bit.
Let's be realistic on this show.
All right. I'm sorry,
but no,
more dumb traits.
The one thing I'll say about this is if you put yourself in a position to go out and get a guy like Walker Kessler, I think it makes your vision a lot clearer. Right. You know, at a minimum, no matter who I'm building around, I got my role players.
Yeah.
Whether the next guy comes in or it is Coby White or it is Josh Giddey taking a leap, I got my role players. If I got Walker Kessler here, 8-8 at your center position with 2.5 blocks, I got my rim protector, I got my rebounder, he can knock down a little shot, I got my role player at center. I got my solid piece that is in there, and I know it's locked in. I got Coby White at my 2 guard. I know I got that right now, right? 19 points a game. He's able to knock down shots. Every now and then he's a little inconsistent, but he seems like he's going to be the leader of this team, right? That doesn't mean that you still can't go out and get your next best player, but you feel like you're heading in a direction with the young player, right? Like that's what happened with Derrick Rose. Ben Gordon was there. Kirk Heinrich was there. Like all of these guys were there.
Yeah, but they were,
and then you get Derrick Rose.
well, they were very fortunate. One, it reset that whole team. It's
But
reset
with how the lottery is, that's what it is. Atlanta got the number 1 overall pick. They lost to us in the play-in.
Yeah, but my point is that a lot of times it's like the Warriors. They got this great squad, and then they end up with the number 2 pick, right, to get Wiseman. Instead of him adding to the team, he didn't even fit the team, or he didn't fit for what he should have did.
There was a work ethic problem there, and
Possibly.
he was hurt. And he was hurt.
But even still, with the Bulls, by the time we got Rose, that Paxson squad had pretty much peaked. That was the Heinrich, Ben Gordon, Luol Deng,
100%.
You know, so now it's time to rebuild around Rose. You know, so what we have here is we're at a point of basically be able to rebuild the squad.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Like we got 500 in the chat.
Over 500 in the chat
on the Bulls.
500.
We got 500. We've been talking. Bulls. That is amazing. Shout out to
Twitter rock with the basketball talk.
I see.
Twitter rocks with the basketball.
We appreciate you.
Twitter rock with us. I ain't gonna lie to you. YouTube rock with us topic based.
Yeah.
Some of the people in here rock with us. Most of the 100 or so people in here, they the real ones. They rock with us no matter the topic.
Well, we appreciate it.
We appreciate the love.
I'm actually more excited now about the Bulls than I've been in the last 2-3 years.
I'm still not excited.
No, I am. Like, getting giddy makes me a little giddy, you know. It's corny.
A lot of flags on the show today. I don't like it.
No, I just like seeing that we're about to make some changes. I think this is something that we can look forward to. Like, the last 2 years, have we really been excited about the Bulls? Like, going into the season, like, maybe Lonzo's coming back. Breeze Nation, was anybody really excited for the Bulls about the last 2 years?
2 years ago, I was excited because we had come off of the playoffs. And I was like, okay, people are going to take steps in the right direction. Nobody did. Legit, nobody on the team took a step. The whole team did not take a step.
Shout out to King Cat.
He said big pause, homie.
Uh-oh. CAP.
Last year, was I excited? I wasn't excited last year. I was excited to know the answer. That's what I'll say about last year.
Yeah.
Because I knew last year was going to tell me, is this team worth investing in, building around? Is there anything on here? Or do we just throw a grenade in there and call it a day?
I had no faith in the last 2 years. I was not excited. To me, now we're seeing some type of change. Actually, when they extended Billy Donovan, I was like, we're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
I like when that happened, it was like, oh, great. We're kind of stuck with him. You still need talent, because sometimes really good talent, at least, do I think that we're ever going to get to the promised land with Billy Donovan? Probably not, unless we would get some A-list type of talent in here.
And that's the thing, though, right? That's the point for me, though, with swap the coach, right? Swap the coach out.
Yeah.
We've done that. At a certain point, you got to have stars.
We do need stars.
When do we
I
win?
agree.
When's the last time the Bulls won? Like, not a championship, but like we're a real competitor.
Derrick Rose.
Why were we competitors?
Star.
He was the freaking MVP.
He's number one.
Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
But
now you can develop a star,
and you can build a team that's the sum of the parts, like a good team
they
all the
don't
way
win.
around. That's what this Bulls team was supposed to do, though.
But no. This Bulls team was supposed to have a star that didn't turn into a star.
Well, they definitely believe
they were supposed to have Zach LaVine, who was a 28 point per game.
He's come off the Olympics.
He was a 50. A 48, 50, 89 player, right under 50, 40, 90. Like, they thought they had a star, and then we got a lemon.
Right.
So but
that's bad scouting too. No one really believed that he was really going to be that guy. They thought coming off the Olympics,
they thought the same thing about Jimmy too.
Because he played in the Olympics and he did well against Carmelo and all those other guys. He's going to come back and be ready to be that guy.
Well, no, because in the Olympics, the difference, the thing that would have made him a star, and this is why it's like, it sucks where we're at with Zach, because it's partially because of the organization. True. But to me, it's more because of Zach. Why does Zach get playing time in the Olympics?
I don't know.
He made a commitment to play defense. And all of a sudden, Zach LaVine was out there. Like, I remember Zach was clamping Muzz. I was like, I didn't know he could play defense like this.
I think you have to want to play defense. You can play defense.
That's the point.
You got to want to.
That's the point. And so, like, at a certain point, it's like, you want to be a star?
It's like when I play kid. You know, I'm just
relax.
locking
Yeah,
down.
I don't know about that.
Shut them
I
down.
watched that game.
You know,
There's a lot of buckets on your head. But no, I like legitimately, you want to be a star. You want to be the face of a franchise. You want all the accolades that come with it. Play defense. When Zach LaVine came back off of injury the first time this season, and him and Coby White got back together, and he was facilitating the ball, he was playing great defense. I was like, if he's here, if he's doing this, keep him.
Yeah.
It lasted 3 games. After 3 games, he turned back into the player that he is. Yeah. That's why it's so underwhelming that we're here. That's why it sucks that you're in this position where you're talking about a guy like Walker Kessler, where you're like, it's time to just hope for new.
Yeah, I mean, you're just looking for. I mean, to me, if you get Kessler, like looking at 8 points, 7.5 rebounds, 2.4 blocks, if he's starting, I like the blocks, I like the defense, and that means to me, he could go to about a 12.
He finishes the year as your starter to me.
Yeah, and then he can get you he can do a double-double, you know. But
Vooch off the bench?
To me, no.
I'm fooling with Vooch off the bench.
No, you're not putting Vooch off the bench.
Oh, I'm definitely putting Vooch off the bench.
If he's a center and they don't put Vooch at the 4, he's coming off the bench.
But I'm saying by the end of the year, I think because of how Vooch's play has declined, you could get Vooch off the bench. Yeah. I would love Vooch off the bench. Be like, hey, brother, this is your new role.
I'm with you on that.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
You got your money. Here we go.
I guess we can move on.
Yeah, let's finish it off, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. 500 in the chat, 528 in the building, 423 people over on the Twitter side. I think we did over 500 in the chat.
Okay.
We did over 500. 100 people over on the YouTube side, man. Let's keep this thing moving along, though. Let's finish the show out. Best and worst of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Or not best and worst. I'm sorry. Friday free-for-all. I'm a little early here, guys. Don't worry about that. It's late in the Friday. It's 5 o'clock, and I haven't had a drink. The Friday free-for-all is here, and listen, there's a lot to that's out there right now, sports wise. There's a lot that's out there entertainment wise. Joe, where are you going for the Friday free for all today, my guy?
My Friday free. Hold on, I thought you were going to do something.
Oh, you thought I was going to go first, did you?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
I want to throw it to you.
Oh, thanks. That's what Kid does to me all the time. I'm like, dog, can I finish setting the show up?
Oh, my bad. Hold on. I'll go with my Friday free for all first. I'll go with it. I'll do mine. Okay.
Mine was Angel Reese.
Hey,
Angel Reese. Angel Reese was over there clowning, man. Now I gotta go back to where I was. So I was ready, but I guess not. Hold on. But I was proud of what Angel Reese did. What did she do? She had recorded her seventh
straight double, my boy.
WNBA rookie record. And they won. That's the other thing. Because they got like 5 wins now?
Yeah, the wins have not been great for the Chicago Sky this season. I'm not gonna lie to you.
16 points a season high, 18 rebounds, and snapped the 4-game losing streak. I like it. She passed Tina Charles and Cindy Brown for the most consecutive games with a double-double by a WNBA rookie. I love that. She said the overall WNBA record for most consecutive double-doubles is 12, which was set by Candace Parker.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
So shout out to Reese Cup.
Opportunity to keep it going. Gotta get a win, Angel. Gotta get a win versus the Fever.
Yeah.
The Fever been cooking us. The first game we lose off a mental mistake. The second game they absolutely come out and clap us. Like, gotta get a game off of the Fever.
Yeah,
gotta get this win coming up.
Gotta,
shout out to Samurai J for that super chat, because that was my Friday free for all.
Oh, my fault.
That Drake funeral that we saw 6 times.
Right.
6 times we heard in a row. They not like us 6 times in a row. My question to everybody out there, how good is this song? Is this up there with the greatest diss song of all time?
Ooh, that's a good one.
6 times in a row. And here's the thing about it. The crowd never wavered.
No.
The crowd, that's 30 minutes.
But I think because there's a
lot. That's 30 minutes of A minor. And every single one.
But you know what? I feel like there's some truth and everybody's believing that. Like, they believe that arena was rocking.
Yeah. Bro, listen. The Drake funeral was crazy. And I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. I love that we got the Friday free for all with Cube on there because I think Cube owns the greatest diss track of all time. No Vaseline.
Yeah, he destroyed them.
No, because here's the thing: nobody's killed a crew. Cube killed 5 dudes with one track.
But the problem is the retort, right? When you can you clap back at it? When you can't say nothing.
Yeah,
it's kind of like 8 Mile.
Yeah,
I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook.
That's a private school.
Like he had nothing
What's
to say.
the matter, dog? You embarrassed? This guy's a gangster. His real name is Clarence. I've been rapping on podcasts all day. Yurko brought up Holes earlier on the Chicago Bears podcast. It's a movie. It's a Disney movie. I had to clarify that. I realized instantly you didn't know what Holes was. That got scary. Real quick. Did y'all see his face? He brought up the movie with Shia LaBeouf, Holes, and at the end they was rapping. I know the rap by heart, so I started rapping on there. I've been rapping all day on the podcast. But nah, bro, like the fact that like I'm still going No Vaseline 1, but bro, that might be 2, bro.
I'm sorry.
Not Like Us might be the second greatest diss track of all time.
I don't care. Jay-Z Takeover to me was still up. I never liked Ether. Everybody's like, you stupid Ether. No.
Ether was cold.
Everybody has their own opinion.
Ether was cold.
But no, I would put that up there as one of the top.
Takeover's top 5. Takeover's top 5.
Hit 'em up was pretty. That was pretty gruff.
Who Shot You is not a diss track, which
no, but what Tupac did.
No, I'm saying, but like I was gonna say I always liked Who Shot You, but then like as you learn, like he had that song recorded for like a year and a half.
Either way, when someone comes at you, first off, F the click you claim. You claim to be a player, but Jesus.
I ain't gonna lie. I was watching this comedian and he was talking about that song because he said, why y'all always play that song when I come out? Like I'm trying to tell jokes and make people laugh. You want to start this mug off. First off, F you. And the click you claim. It's like, wait a minute.
Jesus, you coming out firing, dog. I mean, was it Cannabis against LL? Like Cannabis came out and then LL came back to get him, but I liked Cannabis' joint against LL. It's like, first of all, 99% of your fans were high heels. It was like, but anyway,
LL was making women music though, so I don't really. It's in the name. Ladies love Cool J. It's in the name.
Yeah, it's there. But in terms of just diss tracks coming out,
they was dissing different though. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Like you think of like everybody thinks of like the gangsta beefs is like Tupac versus Biggie and stuff like that, or like Snoop going at Death Row Records stuff like that. The gangsta beefs was like LL Cool J. Like they was the one who was dissing Ice-T. Was that Snoop? Did Snoop diss Ice-T?
I don't remember.
Somebody dissed Ice-T, and Muggs and hip hop be talking about that, and they was like, "Yo, Ice was like gonna run down on Muggs." And I'm like, Ice-T?
Yeah,
the dude from freaking
Ice
Law and Order SVU.
No, Ice back in the 80s.
But you gotta understand, I'm a kid. All I know is like, are you telling me that the victim left semen in his ear canal? It's like this. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Ice. Ice, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. Why is that on TV right now? Why did I just hear that?
I remember Ice-T from the mid-'80s when, especially like from breaking the LA scene. So he was just, rapping at that stuff. But then later, it's the Colors, it's all the other stuff. Not Color. What's the other one? Speed of Life.
P. Bill said, huh? Bro, you ain't never watched Law and Order SVU when you just wake up on it? And it's just a random episode and Ice-T just saying something wild, bro. Fam, I swear every episode Ice-T said one thing that you would just be like, can you say that on TV? Can you say, are you telling me that the victim had anal sex in a car?
I used to like Mariska Hargitay like
what?
10 years ago after that. I just started watching that show. I got tired of who's the guy, her partner. He was always the eagle-looking face guy. Like,
I know you're talking about. I
Stabler.
Can't think about it. Yeah.
After a while, I was like, okay, I'm getting tired, man. But outside of that, though, I see. What does Mr. Fencer say? Don't forget, Ice was in the streets. Was about to fight someone talking to this girl until he found out it was Tukey. Oh yeah, Tukey Williams. From what I heard, yeah, that's one of the original cats back then in L.A. Wasn't he? That was a Crip, right? Big.
Yeah, we're not gonna go too far down that.
I'm just saying. I'm a historian. I'm a historian. Y'all love to tease me because I like to learn my history. Anyway,
No, Ice. When you learn about Ice, it's like, oh, Ice like
he was about to like.
probably murdered some people, and like we just not gonna talk about it. Like,
You should, you should probably, hide,
Bro,
take time
legit.
out, Ice.
When you start watching documentaries on Ice-T and like the crews that was running with him and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they'll be talking about people, and then they'd be like, and then he just moved to Seattle.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Yeah.
I don't think he moved to Seattle, bro. I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah. No,
I feel like you're lying about him moving to Seattle.
I honestly could definitely put the Drake joint at way up there at the top. I mean, this could be
Kendrick went hard
because
on
the
that
whole
one.
point is you're killing dang near killing somebody's career. Because what Ice Cube did was pretty much, it was no Vaseline. It was like, dang,
He destroyed the whole crew.
They were
That's number one to me. That's still number one to me.
This
Because I don't think that broke the crew up pretty much, didn't it?
I mean, it was exposing Jerry Heller. It was
Yeah.
like they were pretty much done. Because after that, it was like real Eazy-E had like real Compton City G's.
Yeah.
Well, there's the other version of it, but
It
was done. It was like pew pew pew. They had nothing.
Like it was bad.
Like what's Drake? I want to see what Drake does.
Well, I saw him. He posted something on Twitter. It was like a picture, or OVO posted it on Instagram. It was like a picture of him in a Revenge shirt. And I was like, please don't. Like, just move on. Because what I don't want, here's the thing that I don't want to happen to Drake. First off, Drake makes good music. I like Kendrick. Kendrick won the beef. Drake makes good music.
Yeah.
Don't mess up making good music by messing up your whole image. That's why Ja Rule's not popular.
Don't go.
Ja Rule kept trying to go at 50 Cent. He wouldn't leave 50 alone.
Right.
Leave 50 alone.
That's another one. Yeah.
If you
50 killed that dude.
50 destroyed Ja.
When you destroying, like there's no
But
retort.
it's like leave him alone. You know you're not about this life. And
Mess
if you
with me.
just left him, you was making Ja Rule is the original Drake.
Yeah.
Ja
Yeah, 'cause he
Rule
was
was making
making
all the female songs.
I got all these songs.
He
right
was
here.
cooking with all the female songs. And bro, that mug, he just leave that mug alone. You'd still have a career. Not that mug sitting there in Milwaukee talking about Milwaukee, are you ready? And nobody said nothing. I guess not. Shut up.
Shit, the bridge is over. And no Vaseline takeover. Yeah, I had a few. Dre Day was. I mean,
Dre Day was good.
Dre Day got after
Dre Day
Easy
was
too.
good.
They got
Yeah.
they got after.
Yeah, Easy was taking some L's. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He was outflanked.
Real Compton City G's was directed by Dre, not Cube. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Bro, it's so funny though, bro. Like, I couldn't hear No Vaseline 6 times in a row, bro. It might be the best one, bro.
The way
I'm talking about, I listened to all 6, bro. Every single time. Certified Lover Boy, certified foul. Wop, dot them up. Every time, bro.
dude,
It might be the best. Y'all let us know in the comments below, man. Anything else for the Friday free for anything else that stood out to you this week, my guy?
No, that's it. I mean, it's a good show. Yeah.
I'll say one because I don't remember if we talked about this on the show or not. I don't think so because the day before it happened, I went to the Cubs game after and I was very intoxicated. But rest in peace to Willie Mays. Who passed away on Tuesday of this week.
We didn't shout out and Jerry West. We really didn't give him any Jerry West.
We lost 3 people this week that are pretty. I don't know if the third is not sports, but of course Jerry West. Shout out Jerry West.
Yeah.
We lost Willie Mays, who ended up passing away, and then we lost Donald Sutherland, who I don't know.
I didn't know he died.
Donald Sutherland passed away.
Wow.
I want to say 93. Most people who are older than me,
That's Kiefer Sutherland's dad.
Kiefer Sutherland's dad also was the original Hawkeye Pierce in MASH in the MASH movie.
Wasn't he in the
Donald Sutherland been in a lot of stuff.
What's the move? What's the Hunger Games? Wasn't he in the?
He was in Hunger Games. He was in Kelly's Heroes. He was in. What else is he known for? Let me see.
That's crazy.
What's the most popular one?
He's in a ton of movies. I gotta go to IMDb. God dang it. Because that's
Animal House.
Oh,
He's in Animal House.
I vaguely. Oh yeah, that's long.
He's in Animal House.
long time
Yeah.
ago.
So no, man. Big shout out to we lost a 3-pack of legends this weekend. all great ages, bro.
Yeah, what were they?
90 plus is phenomenal.
Yeah, my grandfather was 94.
90 plus.
If you
Listen,
live to
if I
90
live to see 90, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
90 plus is phenomenal.
90s, you live a pretty
You
good
lived
life.
a good life. You
Yeah.
did some stuff.
It's a gift.
Well, hopefully.
Well, anything over 85, really, because that's the thing is like if your quality of life starts to decline, if you can still do some things, but yeah, because but Jerry West was 83.
Was Jerry only 80s? I thought Jerry no, you might be right. Jerry West 84, I want to say.
I think he was 83. He died. And then you got who was that? Yeah, and then who else was that? You said Willie Mays. Now I think Willie Mays was
Mays was 94.
Yeah, that's a great
So
age.
I mean, listen, shout out to of course I've seen the highlights of Willie Mays, right? And from what I've heard from people before me that saw him play, the people that I've talked to before me, they got to see him play
86.
And have continued to watch baseball.
He was 86. Oh, thanks, LaVine.
86 for Willie Mays?
For Jerry West.
For Jerry West, okay. I was gonna say I definitely thought Willie made it in the 90s. The
crazy
everybody that I know that has seen Willie Mays play says the greatest all-around baseball player of all time.
Yeah, I can't
speak on it. I see the highlights. I see the records. He looks phenomenal. But
yeah,
it's pretty consensus like the greatest all-around player that baseball has had is probably Willie Mays. So
it's just funny too, because you think about what's the movie?
Major League, Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes.
You know what's so funny about that, bro? So and not funny, not really funny.
It's giving homage, but love.
But but I had a tweet that I sent out back when the White Sox were a relevant baseball team, right? Billy Hamilton. Billy Hamilton stole second. Ball goes into the outfield. He ends up running the third on a steal. Mm-hmm. And my tweet was Billy Hamilton or Willie Mays Hayes. And somebody, when Willie Mays died, quote tweeted that and was like, "This is kind of like Willie Mays, but like 1,000 times worse." I was like, yeah.
He's the last player to hit at least 20 home runs, 20 doubles, 20 triples, and still 20 bases in the season. He won MVP awards 11 years apart and had seasons of 50 or more of 50 or more home runs 11 years apart. Yeah. So like he played and had he had longevity. Yeah. 12 Gold Gloves, 24 All-Star game appearances, 24. That's pretty good.
A dog.
Yeah,
a dog.
He was a.
There you go. And they said the one thing that I've heard about him, never declined.
Never declined.
Game never fell off.
Right. Yeah.
Just left.
That's crazy.
Just was like, I'm done.
Yeah. The strength to be kind of like on that Jim Brown type stuff. Like you're still playing at a high level until you just say, I'm just tired.
It's just that's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
That's nuts to just be like, you're still like people still look at you and they're like, he's kind of at the peak of his game. Like,
yeah.
I still wouldn't pitch to him. But hated to see that news. June 18th, he ended up passing away. Was born May 6, 1931. Shout out to Willie Mays and the Mays family. I think that's all we got for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all stay safe out there. We'll be back next week. Of course, we'll be dropping content throughout the weekend. If anything breaks with the Zach LaVine news or anything, y'all tap in, stay in tune with us, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love as always. For the super producer Joel Holt, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down, see red, one love. White Sox Nation.
Go Cubs, go.
There you go. I wasn't gonna say it. Hard Hog Hockey. Y'all stay safe out there. Bear down. Did I say bear down?
No.